Okay, so in this video we're going to ask the question, what do we do if we have fractions in our quadratic equation? Well, the first thing we need to do is get rid of the fraction, okay? So we're going to multiply through by the least common divisor, right? So the least common divisor is the key. So we have to multiply through by the least common divisor, and how do you find the least common divisor? By finding the least common multiple of the bottom, okay? The smallest number that both numbers will divide, okay? So in this case it's easy because these are prime factors, so we're going to multiply them together. So we're going to multiply through by the product of those two. And so what's going to happen is when we multiply through by the, so the LCD, oh, not the LCD, yeah. So the LCD is x times x plus 2. So we're going to multiply through by the least common divisor, okay? And so now watch what happens, which is also the least common multiple, by the way. So if we multiply through, so watch what happens. Well, x cancels with x here. X plus 2 cancels with x plus 2 there. And so we get x plus 2 plus x times x plus 2 times 3 equals 2x. So now if I simplify this, I'm pretty much all downhill now, right? So now this is going to become x plus 2 plus, now I'm going to distribute the x and the 3. So this becomes 3x squared plus 6x equals x squared. And now I'm going to bring everything to the left and simplify, combine like terms. So I'm going to get what? Well, this x plus this 6x gives me 7x, so I'm going to write 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 equals 2x. And so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. And I get 3x squared plus 5x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, so now I'm ready to factor. And so now what happens? Well, I got to multiply the 2 and the 3, so that's going to give me 6. So what are two factors of 6 that are going to give me 5? Okay, and since this is positive, they're either both negative or both positive. Well, the answer is going to be 2 and 3. Okay, so now I'm going to decompose the middle term using 2 and 3. So this is going to be 3x plus 3x squared, sorry. 3x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 2 equal to 0. So I just decomposed the middle term into two terms, right? And so now I'm going to factor by grouping. Always works. So if I factor out a 3x, I get left behind x plus 1. And if I factor out a 2, I get x plus 1. So now I got another common factor that I can factor out. So I'm going to factor out the x plus 1, and that leaves behind 3x plus 2, and that's equal to 0. And so now I set up my zero product principle. So that means that x plus 1 is equal to 0, or 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Either one of those will do it. And so that means x is going to equal negative 1 and negative 2/3. And that's it. So when you're dealing with fractions, the first thing is to multiply through by something to get rid of the fractions, to get rid of the denominators. And so you want to find the least common divisor, and you do that by finding the least common multiple of all of the denominators. And when you multiply through by that will get rid of all the denominators, and you'll end up with a regular quadratic equation that you can solve. That's it. See you next time.